So hi and welcome to my podcast series about purpose-driven people. And today I'm joined by Linda Cloak, a social media specialist who's based in Kent. And with her passion for learning and the ever-changing world of social media, it was an ideal match for her interests. So back in 2013, she decided to turn her passion into her purpose and she launched the business We Do Social Media. Since then, she's been joined by her daughter Elle, and together they've developed all sorts of new services. Today, they continue to help professionals with social media training, social media management and engagement for businesses, especially for people who see the value of what it is to be online. Also, as Linda did say to me earlier, they do what they say on the tin. So it's an absolute pleasure to have you here, Linda. And how are you feeling today?
Thank you. As I said to you, I'm normally on the other side interviewing other people. I was for a while. So it's odd being this side and being interviewed.
So just for people watching it, although I've given you a little bit of an introduction, would you just like to tell people about yourselves and a little bit about your story?
Yes, of course. So I started We Do Social Media because I was helping someone who wanted to set up a business, actually, a young lady called Laura. And I set up the limited company because she wanted me to be a 50% shareholder. I invested some money in. And then I kept on saying to her, we've got all these checks, we need to pay them into the bank. And she was like, oh, I've got a job in London. I was like, oh, okay. So I sort of went into a bit of a panic mode because it was really her business. And I love helping people in business. I've helped a lot of people, haulage companies, loads of people set up in business, dance studios,
Wow.
because I just love doing that. I love business. The thing about social media is it is business and it's lots of different types of business. And so that's what I think I love about it. But Elle came along and she came along just about 18 months after I'd started the business.
Mm-hmm.
And to me saying, please come and help me. And she's like, no, I don't want to work with you, Mum. But in the end, she did. And she loved it. And she took the business to a whole new level because what she did was she put together CPD training for every platform.
Wow.
So we were one of the only companies in Kent, I think we were the only company in Kent offering CPD training, which meant we could go in and train professionals and they could get their hours that they need to get for personal development and professional development.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
So that was really powerful. And then she also got us into speaking gigs, and we went into universities, colleges, we trained students and teachers, as well as training professionals on CPD. So it took it to a whole level I never anticipated or really thought about it going to. And that really sort of put us on quite a high level. You know, we were very well known in Kent for doing social media. And then Elle left for a little while. I just went back to basics. I thought, won't do none of this speaking and training stuff. So I just train people on a one-to-one level, mainly on LinkedIn and how to engage, those sort of things. So just charge by the hour, and people come and sit next to me. Now, obviously, it's over Zoom. Do the training with them, show them how they can optimize their profile, as well as showing them how to engage with other people to make the most of their social media, which is really, really important. But Elle's come in again, lots of ideas. She's such a dynamic person. And she's come up with the social media workouts and social media gym, which again is going to take the company to a whole new level. It's really exciting. It's really exciting to be able to help so many people.
Brilliant. And what's the social media gym? I've not heard that expression before. Very interesting.
No. So what happened, we were talking about exercising and diet, which women always do. So we're talking about exercise and diet, and I sort of went, well, it's a habit, isn't it? You've got to, go to the gym regularly to see any impact from it. You need to eat a proper diet on a regular basis to lose weight. Actually, God, that's just like social media. Social media is like, if you don't do it regularly, you haven't got consistency. How can you ever expect it to work? It's not going to.
Yeah.
And it was like, social media gym. And I was like, yeah, okay. And then she's come up with this whole thing. So the gym is going to be about regular training, giving value to people with regular sort of masterminds, workshops that we'll be doing on Zoom for people. But she's developing all the training, which is why we've started with the workouts, because we felt that the workouts is something that people need now. Because funnily enough, I was just about to write a blog, how do you get seen through the jungle of social media? How do you get heard through the noise? And the main thing really is, as you well know, you need to engage. And if you don't engage with your audience, then nobody's going to hear you. You could do as many posts you like, get seen by 1, 2, maybe 10 people. You need to go in and make sure you're engaging, sharing. So what it will be is, it will be a group of people that come together onto Facebook and a LinkedIn group that Els created. And then what we will do is we will work with them, showing them how to engage with each other. So everyone in the group will engage with each other, and it will help to work with the algorithms on those platforms to get them higher up in the search engines, really.
It's almost like a supportive community that you're building.
Absolutely, that's what it will be. And it's going to be so valuable, because the thing is that with yourself, you're very good at going in. Brian from BBN and I were talking about it this morning, and saying about how you go in and you do so much for so many. I've been seeing all of the different people, but not everybody will do the same for you, Graham.
No.
And that's the difference with what we're doing here in the social media workouts, is that everybody who's involved, it will be right, okay, look, Graham's been in and he's written a comment or he's shared your post. Let's everyone go in and do the same for Graham. So that's the difference. You go in and do it all at the moment because that's what you do. You're brilliant on social media, but not everybody does, not because they don't want to, but because they just don't know.
That's a really good point. It has to become a habit with me, because I'm so used to doing it. It's kind of built into my day to sort of do things, but I do appreciate that other people don't. So this is actually a really sort of interesting concept. I mean, I've heard of support groups before, but this seems on a different level.
It is. It's a simple process, but it is going to be on a different level, because the other thing we're going to do as well is, say you've done a post, and that post maybe hasn't got your brand in, hasn't got your colours on there even, because not all posts have to have your actual brand on there. It's just about having the right colours, the right contrast there, so that people can know it's your post, even though it hasn't got your brand on there.
Sure.
So what we'll be doing is, we'll be looking at the posts independently and giving advice on the post, and asking the other people in the group what they think could be better, and maybe what they think someone could do to make it more attention grabbing, because that's really the art of social media, to grab people's attention. So it's not just about the actual engagement, it's also about the actual posts that people do and how to improve them so that they get more from their social media.
Brilliant. So it's supporting each other and teaching and learning all together. That's really good.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what our trainings have always been. One of the things we've said is, we've never spoken to the room. We always work with the room. And that's all of our trainings have always been like that. So with our trainings, people come along with the computers or their phone, and they literally work with us, and we will show them, and they do it as we're there training them. And that's the way we've always done all of our trainings. Whereas I know, there's a lot of things going on at the moment where people will tell you, and I've been to training before, and you write it all down, you go away and do nothing. So our trainings are always interactive, and the workouts are, definitely going to be interactive, and people are going to benefit from it on so many levels.
Definitely.
And it's only £10 a month.
I think you're right as well about the training and the people not following up, but having that ongoing support and then a commitment to sort of be involved is what's going to keep it going, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And once people start seeing that their posts are being seen, because of course, if you comment on someone's post, then their audience is going to see it, and then someone else comments, then their audience is going to see it. That's really what it's all about. People always say to me, particularly with me being the salesperson in our company, oh, all of our business is through word of mouth. Really? Well, that's what social media is. Social media is word of mouth. And guess what? You're not in the neighbourhood. If you're not on there, you're not on there. It's as easy as that, really. And, a lot of people who prefer the old traditional styles of advertising, there's a lot of people out there that do. Still a lot of successful magazines and that really work well for companies. But the thing is that they could expand that so much further by doing social media as well. And it's like networking. If you're not in the room, people forget you. And social media is no different. And it's the same as anything in life. If you go down to the same pub or nightclub or anything when you're younger, and then you don't go, people forget you. They move on. There's new people come in, and when you go in, you feel that new kid on the block again. And social media is no different to that. It's exactly the same.
Definitely. Do you think that people have the wrong idea about social media? It's mixed messages. People don't understand what it's actually about.
Businesses, I don't think, do. But to be fair, I was one of them. I mean, you know, I wrote an article some time ago, you know, are you a dinosaur? And I knew that I was one. I remember going to an event very early on with a networking group that I went to, and they said, you've got to get online. You've got to get online. I'm like, no, I don't want to go on there in my pajamas having a cup of coffee. That's all I thought it was. I really didn't take it seriously. But then I saw the impact it had for my business, and I was like, wow, this is powerful stuff, and I need to get involved. So when Laura asked me to go into business with her and help her, I was like, yeah, I want to know more about this. And if I'm in a business, I know I will learn more about it.
This is a new thing, the gym. Is it out now, or is it coming soon? What's the latest with it?
Well, we've been working on it, or rather, Elle's been working on it for some time. I went away on the 27th of February, and that's when we sort of came up with the idea. And she's been working on it, but we've had quite a lot of emotional stuff going on, as a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So therefore, it didn't launch as quickly as we wanted it to or planned it to initially. But the first event, so it's going to be a weekly event, and it's going to be every Wednesday. So the Facebook workouts will be at 10:30 on a Wednesday morning, starting from the 10th. And then the LinkedIn will be at 11:30, and each of the workouts will last 45 minutes. So it will be a basic introduction, telling people how to do it. Now, obviously, the first 2 weeks are free. I didn't say that the first 2 weeks are going to be free. So people can come on, try it. If they like it, they stay in and pay the £10 a month. If they don't like it, obviously they don't. But I think people will see that their posts have gone from 10 to 20 or 1 to 20, or, you know, and I think that in itself will be enough incentive for people to stay.
Yeah, definitely. Keeps and builds. It will build on itself as well when the people start realizing how much of an impact it has.
Absolutely, because the thing is, as I said once, you know, one of us comment, you know, you and Dave Proud are very good from BBN Networkers working together. You go and comment, and then David sees it in here, go and comment, and it's really good. So, and that's what it's all about. It's about somebody seeing it in somebody else's post. And if there's 20 of you doing it, that's really powerful.
Makes all the difference on networking as well. It really has expanded upon the physical networking. That's how I know you through the BBN network.
Yes, yeah, of course. And that's, you know, how I've met a lot of people who, you know, have really helped us and given us the ideas to go forward with some of this.
Brilliant.
It's been brilliant.
So good. So you do this is the new thing, but I take it you do what other services do you provide?
The main reason that I first set up in business was to do people's social media, give them a presence. So for people to understand what is that? So what do? Do you stick up a picture and put a few words? And I've seen, you know, lots of different types of social media. I mean, you know, some of it I don't even understand. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, how could you do that for this business? I couldn't understand the correlation with it. But we all work differently. So the way that we work here in We Do Social Media is that, say we were to take on photography, for example, what we would do is we would look at the types of photography that you do. So with, for example, wedding photography, we would go in and we would look at the different venues that do weddings. We'd be looking at the different types of photographs. We'd be talking to you about what you want to get from it for a start off. Mm-hmm. And say you did just say, well, actually, I just want a presence, Lynn. I'll do all my engaging. I'll do all that. What I want you to do is do the 15 posts, so I haven't got to worry about it. And I know I've got that consistency there. So that actual package is great for people who have got a knowledge of social media, but they know that they get so busy in their business that they don't do it. Yeah. So what we do is we give them that continuity, and then we will create the images. Obviously not for photographer, but for a lot of our people. So we're doing it for insurance or you know, some of the industries that don't have photographs. We would then actually go and create the content for them, generally on Canva, and we'll use Photoshop as well.
Yeah.
Create the content, make sure it's got their branding or their brand colours, make sure it's got consistency, and also that it's in tune depending on what platform you're working on. Because if we're working on something like Instagram, you know, it's the pale colours that are preferred, and or you might get striking colours. So that you've got to look at what each platform looks for before you actually go in with the colours. So you still keep the branding, but you've got to make sure it's also in tune with the platform. And obviously you've also got to make sure that you're scheduling, we've got to make sure we're scheduling at the right time for the client. Mm-hmm. So it's looking at their what we've done, seeing when the most engagement is, Because some clients we start completely from scratch, so we've got no history to say, you know, oh, this is when you get the most reviews, or we've got nothing there. So it's just completely from scratch. So we've got to do sort of a couple of months and then look and see what times they get the most engagement, because it does differ depending on what industry, obviously, as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it sounds so much more involved. I expect there's sometimes not a conflict of interest, but a difference in expectations of what the client wants and what is the actual reality of what you do.
Don't think people maybe realise, or clients maybe realise, the amount of time that goes into
Yeah.
it. So if, for example, will writers is, you know, quite a serious thing at the moment. A lot of people are looking for will writers or looking at writing a will. So what would we do? You know, I've written my own will. Well, I haven't written my own, I've got someone else do it. So, but what would they want to be talking about? So what I have to do is I have to go in and I have to research. Now, they may not have everything on their website. They might have some things on their website, but I have to look deeper into it so that I can then write about that, you know, with the correct information, and also make it relevant to the times. For example, now obviously it's the coronavirus, but it could be other things that are relevant. So, for example, we do social media for a printer, and a couple of years ago, you had that beautiful orange moon. Lovely. Do you remember it?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Photographer, and the color was just amazing, and they showed it on the news, and it was great for us. You know, we would bang out there for them, you know, because it was all about color, natural colors of the world, and you know, it's relating it to that. So it's being topical as well, and trying to make sure that it's something that people will like. One of the girls this morning said that she put up a post about grey hair. I mean, you know, great. Grey hair, no makeup, what you wear on the bottom half of your body. All them sorts of things are really relevant at the moment with all this Zooming going on.
It's when you start thinking of it like that, there's so much more to it than just putting a post out. It's, you know, what's going on in the world. It's who are the people that I'm trying to reach, and you know, is it on brand for me? And it's so much. It's so much more. I mean, it's such a varied role that you do.
It is, and it's looking at things that, like, for example, last week was Mental Health Week.
Mm.
You know, how can that relate to your business? How is it going to relate to each business? Can it relate to every business? And a lot of businesses can make it relate to them, but some businesses wouldn't be able to find anything that can.
Sure.
But you can actually find that something is actually current, relates to most things. You know, Christmas, Easter, Valentine's,
Yeah.
you can generally find it easily for that. But then every single week there's something. There's like stop smoking, or there's loads of stuff.
Yeah, I've seen
It's
those International Day of Pizza and things like that as well. I'm sure some businesses that would actually apply to, but others it's not going to work at all.
Well, what we do with our clients as well, we do a calendar. So we talk them through,
Brilliant.
you know, the seasons, what is relevant, what's good here, what's good there. I mean, one company is a drainage company, and obviously with all this dry weather, a lot of the clay pipes are cracking. So you look into, right, clay pipes, where are their clay pipes? Why do they crack in the heat? What does it cause? It causes subsidence. How do I know this? Because I'm doing social media.
Fantastic.
Otherwise I wouldn't know.
So I guess there's quite a lot of research involved in your job as well.
An awful lot, and that's the side that I enjoy the research.
Yeah.
Elle likes the graphic side of it. She enjoys working on the images. I've worked in quite a lot of industries. That's another advantage of being a mother and daughter team, is that Elle is, you know, she's got the, I suppose, knowledge, and she's been on it from a young age, whereas I've had to learn it. I think that does make a difference when you have to learn it. But I've worked in hospitality, manufacturing. I've worked in you know, accountancy, for the media and TV. So I was a dance instructor. So I've worked in a lot of industries, so therefore that's helped me with creating the posts and knowing how important it is to show, you know, the knowledge of the company that we're doing the social media for.
I know we've briefly covered some of the last sort of you know, where you got started up. So what has been the last year been like for you guys? Is it been busy? Are you seeing lots of changes in the markets? What's your thoughts?
Well, there's definitely changes in the markets because people are starting to realise that they need to use this as a tool in their business. I mean, in the last couple of months, obviously that's been. In the last year, yes, there's been changes on social media. Social media are adding things and taking things away and changing things all the time. So really, it's been a lot more in the last couple of years, probably, of keeping up with all the changes that are going on.
Mm.
So, as with most businesses, to be fair, if you're an accountant or, you know, in finance or even photography, I mean, look at the new cameras they probably bring out. You've got to stay in touch with the things that are going on in your industry. And I must admit, I mean, you know, I've been in many industries, but the social media people are brilliant at and I know your industry they are as well. They talk to each other, they're friendly. I mean, you know, we get on well with so many other social media people across Kent, and they're fantastic. And, you know, we sort of call on each other, help each other, and nobody gets, you know, all like, oh, touch tea.
Competition.
No, none of that. No, because
Yeah,
it's working with each other, helping each other. So it's a good industry to be in from that perspective.
It's almost just seen as colleagues rather than competition.
Yes, yeah, that's right, and it's good. It's I really enjoy it. Collaboration, isn't it? It's the buzzword,
Yeah.
and yeah, I mean it's great. And there's some fantastic people out there, and they know stuff that I don't know, and I probably know stuff that they don't know, and we do things in a different way. But that's okay because there's plenty of people out there, there's plenty of clients out there for us all, I'm sure.
I hope so. Yeah, I think so as well. I mean, you're saying about the you know, different businesses are better at things or know things, and you know things and differently. But it's the same for UNL as well. You've got different skill sets that work really well together.
We have, and I mean, we do just focus on social media, whereas you find that a lot of social media companies build websites, do SEO, do email campaigns. You know, we literally are social media. If you want your social media management and marketing done, then that is what we do. And we tend to go down the organic route. We tend not to go down the paid route. And if somebody did want to go down that route, then we would refer them to someone else or work with someone else to be able to provide that service. Yeah, we've tried to stick to our core values, which is helping people organically through social media. And initially, as I say, all you need was a presence, but now it's far more important than that. I mean, something else I think is really vital to say here is when we were talking about word of mouth, you know, those people that talk about word of mouth, just to go on and get testimonials on Facebook, LinkedIn, you know, give a little testimonial to each other on Twitter, you know, those sort of things are really, really powerful. And that is word of mouth. That's the strongest word of mouth. So, you know, if you want to help someone in social media, that would be a great thing to do. And even on obviously Google, it's fantastic when you do a Google review.
It's a nice, as a business myself, it's such a nice feeling to receive those as well. It's great.
It is. You do get some people that go on and make comments when they've never even done business with you. But, you know, some people just do that.
What would your advice be for something like that? If somebody left, you know, a bad testimonial, or if you'd never even heard of them, what would you do?
We have had it happen. And what we do is we would go in and we would say, you know, thank you for writing a review. We don't know you and we've never worked with you, you know, sorry you've made a mistake. And that's really all you can do. You can't do anything else. With Google, you can sort of ask them to remove it, but generally they don't.
But at least you've covered it from your reputation, or protecting the reputation of your own business from that perspective.
Yeah, you've just got to stay calm. I mean, that's another thing as well. I remember reading an article from an American company, and they basically said, if you're not on social media and somebody complains about you, you don't even know they've complained about you. Whereas if you are on social media and they've complained about you, you can see and you can respond. And you can respond by, you know, by saying, well, thank you for your comments. If you'd like to call me directly, then I can help you. So you're showing yourself to be professional, you know, as most of us would do that. But of course, if you're not on there, you don't even know. So they can be on there, you know, banging away about what they like, don't like, and you don't even know. And of course, the people who do like you and are trying to help you, and, you know, they're mentioning you in their posts, and you could have loads of your clients going on you and giving all this credibility, and you're just like, you don't even know. How can you say thank you?
Yeah, that's a very good point. So it's almost that we love it or loathe it, we need to be on social media. We need to look at it effectively, and people like yourself that can help people with that. definitely.
Yes, yeah, and that, I think we're reasonable with what we do, and it has helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
And it's really helpful to be on platforms. What my main advice would be, if you're going to start out, which I know a lot of people are at the moment, then start out on one platform, get to know that well, and then look at the other platforms. Don't try and do all four, because then you're going to put yourself under so much pressure and it will be difficult to maintain. Whereas if you choose one where your audience is, so obviously if you were, say, somebody who's looking to get into schools or some of those sort of industries, then LinkedIn is the place really where you need to be, because schools, a lot of them use completely pseudo names on Facebook because they use that for their own personal information. So they wouldn't necessarily look for someone on Facebook because they wouldn't want it to be seen that they are looking or that they're into facilities or anything like that. So LinkedIn is the place to be for that. So it does depend on, look and investigate, where is your audience. We're always happy to give free advice, as you know, here anyway.
I was going to ask you, is that something that you would help clients with? Because, they might be saying that they want to target a particular demographic, and you might be saying, well, actually, they're not on that platform. You might be better off looking at this sort of platform. Is that something that you would do?
Yeah, I mean, we've had people ring us over the years, and I mean, I've spent time on the phone with clients and help them with anything they've got on there. And I would just, say, well, you need to do this and this, and that will really help you. We can help you going forward if you want to employ us, but especially startups. It's very difficult. Obviously, when you start up, you've got so much to think about. So I'm always happy to help, and I know Elle is as well. We would sit on the phone with someone and just give them that advice for free.
Yeah, I can vouch for that as well. It's you are great at doing that sort of thing, and I was something I sort of wanted to say a little bit earlier, was that that's actually your unique point there, because you are niching down, you're concentrating on that one area of the organic social media reach, and I think that's great, and I think that makes you specialist in that area.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what we work towards trying to do. And some people think they can do a quick fix, meet somebody, and you either automatically like them or you don't. But generally, you will get to know them before you commit to them. And, it's shown that 80% of people will go to a company that they've been following, not to a company they've been following for a week or 2 weeks, or maybe saw on TV and then can't find anywhere on social media. Because people check people out. People check people out on social media if they want to employ them. They check them out if they want to see whether they're credible or not. So again, all those reasons you need to be on there. I just think it's really important that people realise what social media is used for, and how many different areas it's used in. It's absolutely tons. And so I think the organic presence is really important, because if you buy it, then how can you gain that trust? You build relationships. You don't go in and say, here I am, hi, I'm here, and you're in somebody's face straight away, because guess what, it turns them off. They're not interested. So you need to build relationships. That's what social media is, and that's why really you need to be on there for a minimum of 6 months, and give a company the opportunity. If you employ a company like us, any company, I'm sure the other people will say the same, they need to have that time to be able to build the relationships, and then they'll see the value. That's what's important.
Yeah, it's a medium to long game to sort of really build up that momentum, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah, trust is not automatic these days, and why should it be?
No, you're absolutely right. It's a really, really good point. In terms of all your services and everything you do, and your new gym, your social media gym workouts, where do you see yourself going in the next few years? What's the big game for your social media?
What we would like to do, and the route we're going down, so at the moment, Elle is developing quite a few things. Social media gym is something that we are intending to sell licenses for people to operate with our branding. So we're looking at selling licenses. We can see, obviously, at the moment, there's a lot of people being made redundant. There's a lot of people looking for a change in career. One of the people on BBN said this morning that now is the time to maybe have 2 or 3 income streams. So with something like social media, what we're doing is we've provided all the packages. we've given people the ability, or we'll train them. They have a 6-week training program that will then show them how to, fully train them on social media, show them how to do it, how to approach it, how to do a strategy plan. And then we would be that support for them all the time as well. And obviously we would send them any leads we get through our website and through our own social media. So they wouldn't have to worry. Sometimes you can be a bit like a painter decorator in social media. You're so busy doing it for everyone else that you don't do it for yourself. Our licensees wouldn't have to worry about doing it for themselves, because we would actually be doing it for them. And then they would be able to use the social media gym and social media workouts for their clients in their area. We're launching at the moment with Kent and Sussex, because that's where I network in those 2 areas. But then obviously our licensees will do it in their area. Brilliant. So yeah, it's exciting. It's going to be
definitely exciting times for you, and Elle as well. I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, fantastic. In your sort of experience and the time you've been doing this, who's helped you along the way? Obviously you've got a fantastic relationship with your daughter and as your business partner as such, and anybody else that's kind of helped steer you along your journey that you'd like to mention?
Well, Elle is my inspiration. As you can tell from the things I've been saying that she's developed, she's the one that's changing the way the business is done. I mean, I'll be sitting here plodding along doing the presents package probably, which I'm more than happy doing. But I would say, Brian's been a big influence on me, definitely, from BBN. He's been amazing. A lady called Jill Russell has been a massive influence on me. Anita Brightly-Hodges, another one. Yeah, there's been some real people in the last 8 years that have really influenced me. I would say, talking of famous people, I've always read Richard Branson, admire the way that he came up in the world, although I know he had just a bit of a silver spoon in his mouth, but I think he did it all himself. Yeah, a lot of people, I would say, have inspired me along the way. People say things and you just think, oh, there's a little gem. And when you network regularly, you get it all the time. Yeah. Look at Sonia and Julie. I mean, how amazing are they?
They've been brilliant.
And Ali, it's just people's way of bouncing back, of dealing with things. And, we've all had a lot to deal with at the moment. But the thing is that, yes, we have at the moment, but we do throughout our lives. And none of us know what anyone else is dealing with, or what they've got to deal with. And that's the great thing about a networking community, isn't it? You're there for each other.
I can't sing praises high enough. When I started networking, I met you, I met Brian, I met so many different fantastic people in this whole pool of different people and skills, and it works. It really does work. Yeah.
Does. And the thing is as well is you've got, as you've seen in BBN, there's 3 businesses all doing the same thing in the room. There's crossovers with us, with VAs and with SEO people, so you've got that crossover, but you're still there for each other. You're still there, and that's the basis of help and support that's come across really, really strongly. And they always say in times of adversity, that's when it shows.
Yeah.
And that is definitely what's come through from that group. Definitely.
Oh,
yeah, and you're going to be doing the Corsair photography packages now, aren't you? So
that's the plan.
Yeah.
Back to social media. I know you touched on a couple of tips and sort of advice. What would be your, right this time in the world today, what was the message you want to say to businesses now? What do they need to be doing?
They need to have a presence. Oh, I can't say that enough. If you're not being seen, you're being forgotten. Having a website there is not enough. This is one of the reasons when you said about me doing this interview, or I think I asked you, you've got to be there. You've got to be seen and heard. It's really, really important at the moment. Some people I know that belong to networking groups that I go to, they're not going. They're not going to Zoom meetings. For me, this is an easier time to be able to stay in touch with people and to be on social media. I would say that we, because of stuff that's going on with us, we haven't been as present as maybe we could have been, but we've still kept attending things and there's been a presence there. Have a presence. If you want to get more from it than that, engage. And I think if you engage, Brian was saying this morning that some people will go on and they don't fully understand even something like Twitter, which if you've never used it, why would you? People can give themselves that visibility by retweeting with a comment. It's all well and good going in and liking, but retweet with a comment. We've all got something we can say about something, and what you're doing, you might think, oh well, why would I comment on that? Well, because you're helping that person, but you're also actually helping yourself. And that's what people maybe don't understand. Each time you go in and comment or share someone's post, you are really helping yourself, and that's the key. It's worth spending the time on it. I don't know if I said to you earlier on in the interview, but I remember someone saying to me, you only need to spend 10 minutes a day on social media. Well, boy, has that changed in the last 8 years. 10 minutes a day, 2 hours, 3 hours a day for your own business. If you want to do it effectively, then, and you're on all 4 platforms, the main platforms, that's what you should be doing, 3 to 4 hours a day.
It's a lot of work, and I think you're right that there is a gap in the expectation of what people expect social media to do for them to what actual effort they need to put in themselves. It's all very well, you've got a fantastic service and you can support it, but sometimes it's, the business has to put in towards it as well.
Yeah, definitely, because the thing is, they know who they're looking for. We know as well, because we've done the strategy plan with them, and we've sort of looked at their business. And as I said, I've worked across several businesses, so I've got a pretty good idea of the type of people work well with anyway. Who would be someone's ideal client? We have to look at, and that's really what people have to look at for their own business. Not just, I want that one, who could pass me the most? And that's where social media comes into its own, because you can go in and you can talk to that key person that you might be blocked from talking to on the phone, if they're on social media, of course. So you can go on and you can find them, you can do that. I mean, one of the things I've found in the last 6 months is I'm going on to engage with someone and they've got no content, so I can't help them. What can I comment if they've got nothing? So I'm going in, I'm actively looking for something of theirs to share, and there's nothing to share. And there must be other people doing that as well.
Yeah.
I mean, my following on LinkedIn is just coming up to 6,000 now. And that's 6,000 people that potentially see it. And I want to share it, and there's no content, so I can't.
Yeah. How many of those 6,000 are commenting on yours?
Yeah, not as many as could be.
I think that's what I've learned from you, that whole, you have to give before you get. I think that it's very much that sort of, I hear it all the time. People say, oh, I could really do with some help on my social media, please come and comment. But are they commenting to actually receive that? And it's a relationship. It's the clue's in the name, social. It's being social, isn't it?
Well, and it is building relationships. It could be called build a relationship, because that's really what it is, or build more relationships. Because you go in and you find that people, like we've known each other less than a year.
Yeah.
And you've probably shared and commented on more of my posts than most people I know, apart from Brian from BBN, who he's always very active and with everybody. Now, he's a classic one. He's probably going in to all of his members and looking at their posts and thinking, right, what can I share? And if they haven't got it, he can't share it. And he's got just as many followers as me. If you belong to a network and you want to get the most out of it, I think I said it earlier, sometimes you've got to look in the mirror. Yeah. What am I doing? Am I doing as much as I can be? And if you're not doing as much as you can be, then you're not going to have it happen back. So it's just going in and it's not shouting to the room. So many people still shout to the room. Very much about selling old school should where it be, old school, rather than building those relationships. I know, yeah, definitely. But there's some great stuff out there, and I read some of the analogies that people put on social media is absolutely brilliant. I'm trying to think of one I saw the other day, and I thought, should I share that? It's a bit shocking. It can be funny and a bit tongue-in-cheek stuff, but that's what gets it's great for getting your personality across, and people buy people. Yeah, don't they? That's actually a good point that you raised there about there is some people are a little bit afraid of social media because they're afraid to actually put themselves out there, put themselves in front of their brand. They are, yeah. But the thing is, people do buy people. So yeah. I do think that if you've got a brand, that it's worth you being the person that's there. Mm-hmm. And going back to the people I admire, I mean, what has Richard Branson done? He is his brand. he lives his brand.
Yeah.
And that's really important that you do that. I think that, and that's really again what social media is about, putting yourself in the forefront and showing that you love your business.
Oh, we're same page. We're definitely the same page, because that's what I do. That's what I'm about. Is about getting people out from behind their business and visually get them out there. It's very much the same thing. So yeah.
The other thing you do as well, Graham, is obviously you do a lot of work for the Strongman charity, and you know, so people can see that you have a passion in another direction as well, which is an important part of social media. So it's showing people what you do sometimes outside. Now, I'm not too good at showing sometimes what I do outside, but you know, the thing is that you know, you've got to show that side of your life as well, because that helps people connect with you on an emotional level. And one of the things that a lot of people don't realize is that that emotional connection is one of the most effective forms of communication.
Yeah.
Because really we all, you know, we say we can see something and we can hear something, but it's when we feel something that we then go forward with it. You get a gut feeling, you get a good feeling. It's that feeling that makes you go forward. So it's connecting with people on an emotional level, and that's what you sharing your Strongman experience. That's what that's done for a lot of people. It's showing you on an emotional level.
Yeah, for me, it's and it's very similar to Julie and Sonia's work around the story. Yeah. You know, the whole purpose of telling stories is being social. So telling stories through social media makes so much sense to me. So you know, that's why I don't mind sharing some of those things.
And people, when Elle got these speaking gigs, you know, I thought I was just going there to help, you know, stand next to her to support. Next thing I know, I'm up on the stage. But you know, I don't really mind. I actually quite enjoy it. Yeah. So I'm there doing that, and then you know, people wanted to hear the story.
Yeah.
People love the story. They love to know how I got it. How on earth did you start doing social media at your age, Lynn? And it's like, because if you look at most of my competitors, they're a good 20 years younger than me, most of them. So, you know, you look at them and you're thinking, well, how on earth did Linda get into this?
Yeah.
And, you know, when they want to know how, and that then gets them on an emotional connection. And a lot of the people that, you know, I deal with, my clients, are of a similar age to me, and they want to deal with somebody who, you know, knows what they're talking about when they talk about fairy liquid or shake and vac or something, you know.
I know what you're talking
I know what they're talking about, and so that sort of thing will draw them to me rather than draw them to somebody who's maybe in their 20s, because they know that I'm talking on the same level as them, and that's why we're such a good team, because Elle comes from the younger perspective, and I can give that the perspective of somebody more mature.
No, it's perfect, and it means that you've got those options. It means it's building those connections with the people that you want to help, and that makes sense. That makes total sense to me. Yeah.
And it's fun as well, Graham. You know, it is fun. I mean, sometimes, you know, we are a family business and we have our traumatic moments.
I'm sure.
Yes. But you know, we get past them. You always get past them. When you're a strong family, you've got that strong bond, you can get through anything.
And you've got a common goal. You've got, you know, other than family as well, you've this common goal of this exciting venture that you're both involved in. I think that's great.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be amazing going forward. And I think that, you know, some people have said to me, well, why would somebody buy, you know, a We Do social media license rather than doing it for themselves? Well, because they've got that support, they've got the brand in there already. I mean, I paid £1,000 for my brand, so you know, that's straight away a cost that they would save. You know, they've got a website. You know, again, you're talking about the similar sort of money, plus all the updates and things to the website. They haven't got to worry about getting an SLL certificate, SSL, and all those sorts of things. You know, risk assessments, all those sorts of things. It's all sort of there, and everything's there laid out for them. And if they have a problem, there's two of us on the end of the phone that can help.
You've got the support.
So yeah, it's definitely going to be exciting. I think it's going to, again, come back to the basics, which is help people. People are looking for something. They're looking for a business that they can run, you know, I don't know, 20 hours a week or full time, grow it as much as they want to. You know, they will benefit. We're just going to be asking for a monthly license fee. and it would just be a set fee. So, you know, if they want to grow it bigger, then obviously it's a smaller percentage.
Yeah, nice. It's definitely sounds very exciting, and I'm really looking forward to following you guys on the journey. I think that's really interesting times ahead. So, just for anybody watching today, what's the best way for anybody to get in contact with you? I mean, obviously, I'll share your links in the posts and things like that, but what's the best way to get you?
Probably the best way is by our email, which is hello@wedosocialmedia.co.uk. That's the best way I would say to get hold of us. A lot of the time when people ring, obviously we can see they've left a message and everything, we can ring them back, but the email is there, isn't it? So, you know, when we're on Zoom call like this, my phone's on silent, and most of our world at the moment is Zoom calls. So we're on Zoom calls with clients, we're on Zoom calls when we're networking. So therefore the phones are turned down or turned off. So definitely at the moment, it'd definitely be email and going forward probably as well.
Excellent. I'll make sure I put that up on the video, and obviously in the links when we share the video as well, share the post as well. Absolutely brilliant, Linda. I've really, really enjoyed the chatting with you today. There's been some fantastic little nuggets of information here, lots of tips, lots of great advice, and very much on the same page with a lot of the things you're talking about. So I hope you've enjoyed today.
I have, Graham. Thank you.
Brilliant.
Thank you so
And
much.
I hopefully we'll have another chat in 6 months' time and see how it's all panned out, because I think that would be really good to revisit how the program's working out. And I'll certainly be following you on social media. So thanks again for your time. I've really, really enjoyed today. So thank you.
Thanks, Graham. You take care. Thank you.
Too. Thank you.
Bye.